Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of For Fact's Sake, the podcast where we take a random topic and Google the facts.
So you don't have to, maybe.
You sound like a flapper. You know what a flapper is?
Oh my fucking yes, I do, Eddie. God,
Dude, you would have
I know you're the old one, but gee,
I remember flappers, baby. You would have been, if you were alive in the 20s, you would have been a flapper for sure.
oh, I would have had the oldest profession, honey. That's what I know.
What do you mean?
I'd have been like, you know what an oldest profession is, don't you?
Carpenter? Jesus?
Prostitute.
Oh, yes, of course.
Now, I only say this because, people was lighting candles and stuff back then, but when electricity came out, I bet you all the hoes was in there getting electricity. So I just feel like they were repressing women. It's not like you could just, drive a car and go fucking learn how to read and shit. No. So I would have used my goods. Now, granted, I probably wouldn't have been able to get my tits done back then, but
you would have been wearing a bustier. You would have been wearing a corset. Yeah, for sure. And I still think you're an entrepreneur back then. You would have been back then. So I think you would have been
vagina,
You would have been a madam. I can see you being a madam.
Oh, I'd have been selling mine and yours.
like Weezy, you sold my sister. You're like, well, she's a hot commodity. This week's episode, I don't
know what we're gonna title yet, but I thought about waste, but I guess that won't work either.
Yeah, it won't work well either. But I said there's a disclaimer at the beginning of this episode. If you're a little squeamish, if you're feel a little bit weird about this topic, I totally get it. I don't know why you would be, because we all do it, but maybe we won't. If it's descriptive, it feels weird. But we're talking about poop.
Dude, I love a good poop story. I can't wait for you to tell. I laugh the hardest at shit stories. Have you ever shit your pants?
No, close in New York. So close. So close. I had a
when you talked about going back from the comedy club.
Oh, so we're in Brooklyn. Me and the lady, we're in Brooklyn. We go to this nice restaurant, and I order the burger. Now, here's the thing about ground beef that I didn't know is that it's got to be well done. Don't ask for anything less. Right? I know people like a little pink, a little bit, but
I'm looking it up because a lot of people say that though, because I like to get a burger medium, but
yeah, you don't want to get it too pink because you never know. They miss it off by a couple of degrees, and so you get a little bacteria in there. Then your whole body's like, ugh. So I eat the burger. Me and the lady, we walk out of the restaurant, and you ever like say to yourself, "I need to fart," but that's all it's gonna be. There's not gonna be more coming out of this. This is all air. There's nothing in me to There's nothing in me to come out. And then I like farted a little pop, and then all I heard, I just felt a dampness, and I was like, no.
I need this laugh so bad right now, dude. You said all air.
You're convinced what's in you is all air, and it's just a little bit of, there's a little bit of something, and I felt it. You know, when you feel it just a little bit between the cheeks, you're like, okay. And you're pinching for your life. You're pinching for your life.
Yeah. But when I'm trying to hold it, it gets louder.
Yes. So you're like building a pressure. It's like,
Probably, with the pressure. No. Probably because it's like going between the cheeks.
So
God, I hope no one that'll ever end up being my future husband is listening to this episode.
Why? Why not?
Like,
it's a good indicator. If he's good with this, then he's good with everything.
I told you about how my mom and my dad don't talk about their shit, right? And how she blamed a fart on me.
No, but let me finish what happened to me. I already want to hear the story.
I got PTSD.
So I'm like, uh-oh. And the girlfriend's like, what are we going to do? I'm like, I have to go back. So I don't know if you've ever went back into an establishment to take a dump. It's one thing you're in there and you're like, I'm at my table. I'm going to go to the bathroom, take a shit or take a piss and go back to the table. But to go back in, I had to lie.
Just say.
Well, I can't tell the guy that, hey man, I got to ruin your toilet. I came in like, I think I forgot something. I'm like, oh, okay. And I went right to the bathroom. Dude, what happened in there would like scare a farm animal.
What happened in there?
Dude, I don't know, man. I had to I should have went up to the bartender like, hey man, you may need to paint those walls. Like it's not. I think that bathroom is done. And And then I left. And then I was like, no, there's still more in me. And I had to go back in the restaurant. And this time I didn't say anything. I just did a beeline, like I owned the place. Like fuck it, like I was a cook there. Went back and contributed more,
Contributed more, as if he's donating to a GoFundMe.
It's a huge fund. Anyway, so I left, and then I was like, okay, I was like, it totally put me out of commission.
So wait, how long do you think you were in there? What was your girlfriend saying?
I don't know, man. I don't know what was happening. I didn't. When you're in the midst of like a fucking like a full on hard chocolate milk flying out of your ass, you don't think about people outside the room. You think about one person, you, your ass, and that bowl, and you just hope there's enough water in there to fill it up. You know what
I mean? Dude, I hate when I'm like when I have to go, because you have to like flush it really fast to like mask the smell, but some people's toilets take too long to refill, and I'm like, oh my god, I wasn't done. Now I have to sit and wait.
Dude, I was never a matches person. Do you keep matches in your bathroom?
No, I keep this is sage, so instead of matches, it's like a cute way of saying I'm spiritual with my shit.
I never started doing matches until I met my girlfriend. She was like, yeah, we do matches. I'm like, matches, huh?
Who's we? The fam?
I know, but I never did matches. I was just like, I was old school. Just like, yeah, that's what it is. Open a window. Or
I wonder what people use.
I don't know, but that's it.
My favorite poop stories. I told you about my old dog and my ex with the very heavy accent.
Yeah, but what about your dad? You mentioned your dad and your mom. You got PTSD from that.
So I feel like I've said this a million times, but maybe I haven't. So basically, I have a lot of PTSD with shitting around men because my father.
You should, though. You shouldn't be like free and easy with that.
No, I won't even tell you when I'm going. Like, I'll hold it. Wow. I'll get cramps.
Wow, you hide it.
Yeah. So basically, my mom growing up never let my dad know when she had to shit. Like, she was very private about it. Like, it was just a lot. So we had 3 bathrooms. I grew up in a house with 3 bathrooms, and it, like, honestly, she'd go downstairs to go to the bathroom. Like, he never knew. But anyway, so here's what happens. We go on vacation. Mom farts. So my dad goes, Gila, why you say excuse me? And I'm like, Daddy, that wasn't me, that was Mom. And he goes, your mother, she never do this to me. She never do this. And my mom fucking doubles down on this shit and looks at me after she farted, talking about that was nasty. And I was so pissed. So later that day, she was like, listen, your dad has never heard me fart. We don't talk about shit. Like, this is not something
your dad has never heard your mother fart?
They've been together 30 years.
What? Your mom hides pooping from your father, doesn't fart around your dad.
Your girlfriend farts in front of you?
No, not at all. My dad.
So why are you so shocked?
30 years, man. At least a squeak. Something happens. A little toot out of your boot.
I farted in my sleep.
Yeah.
And I remember old Dave was like, he didn't wake me up, but he just started laughing. And I thought he was sleeping. And I was like, what happened? And he was like, you know what happened. I was like, I don't. So I'd love for you to tell me, because I don't know what happened. Mind you, like, they were the only 2 people in the whole fucking room, let alone the whole fucking house.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Immigrant dads, maybe there's something about them. Maybe because they grew up so poor, where like, you just there's poop everywhere in the streets, from a horse, a donkey, a goat, a man. Maybe they're not into it, because my dad, even if I use the word shit, not in terms of actual
relation to poop.
If I just, like, one time I was at a dinner table with my brothers, and I was like, you're talking shit. And my dad goes like this. No. Don't talk about that. I'm like, okay, man, relax, dude. It's a different context. What happened to you? Was it fucking...
Where was your dad from again? Your mom's from Peru.
My dad's from Italy, yeah.
Yo,
here is the wildest, mysterious shit story before we get into our topics that I to this day, I don't know what happened.
Okay.
The mystery. And I'm not, to all the mother factors out there listening,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. This is going to gross you out. It's going to make you wonder. But I, to this day, think about that moment every time I think about a shit story.
Okay.
My parents, we bought a house across the street. We grew up in a house. My dad bought the house across the street, took out a mortgage, rented it out for 10 years, right? And that paid off the mortgage, right? So we had these elderly neighbors, Doug and Ellen, and they were nice people. Yeah, I'd go to their house when I was a little boy. We'd play checkers. He'd teach me how to play piano. He was a really nice man, you know?
Checkers, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's old, right? So one day, my mom is giving a tour of the new property with this woman, Ellen, who was like 80 at the time, and me, right? They're our old neighbors. So she starts giving us a tour of my mom gives a tour of the house, right? She's like, here's the bedroom, here's another bathroom, yada, yada, yada. She's just looking around. And then Ellen's like, and then my mom had to go call my dad. Like she had to talk to my dad at the back patio. So my dad was like out there, so Ellen just starts walking around by herself, right?
Okay.
And I'm just like with my mom. And she's just looking around, hand behind the back, kind of looking around. 80-year-old lady. So then she comes back to us. Me and my mom, we start walking around the apartment more. And dude, there's a hot turd in the middle of our living room.
It's not.
It's just a
no, huge. It's not, Eddie.
There was a turd in the middle of our living room. And my mom's like, "Oh," and I go, "What?" And Ellen said nothing. This old white lady, I don't know. I think she shat on my floor. I think something fell out of her body. I think an old lady log just fell out of her fucking little sundress, went down her
old lady log,
went down her stockings, just brushed by her penny loafers, and just fucking fell into my new living room. And my mom was like, "Oh," and I looked at my mom like, I'm like 8. I'm sorry, I'm like 10 or 12. I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking in my head, does a dog live here?
Just gonna
Ellen saying nothing. She's just quiet. Maybe she's done this before. Like, yeah, looks like it happened again. Looks like another old lady turd fell out of my body. And then my mom just got a paper towel. She grabbed it and just like threw it in the garden or something. And then we just left and we never spoke of it again.
It was only you 3 home.
It's only us 3. And we left her alone for a little while. That lady shat on my floor.
Your mom and you never talked about it.
Never talk about it. You know what? When I go home, after I get vaccinated, I'm going to go home. I'm like, "Mom, remember when Ellen shit on our floor?"